This picture was before I owned Oscar, and although it is not perpendicular, it gives an indication of initial conformation and posture before any intervention. Oscar shows a 90-degree shoulder and hip angulation, preferable for show jumping horses. Lawrence 2001, Thomas 2018. He has a short neck set well into his shoulders and his head is slightly too large. This will make working in a long, low outline difficult. Johnson 2014. He is short coupled with deep thoracic structure. Warm bloods are known for this. Advantages can be strength and power, but disadvantages can be tension held throughout the dorsal ventral chain and therefore lacking the desired swing through the back. Posturally, his hindquarters and shoulder muscles are well developed, enabling propulsion from behind. Clayton 2014. Unfortunately, due to his past injury and trauma, he lacks confidence and at times seems unable to engage. The ridden objective will be using transitions and pole work to potentially assist in his further development with gait fluidity, balance, straightness and relaxation when working, using different conditioned methods of learning. Oscar is mildly carpus valgus and fetlock valgus, a possible explanation for the medially situated splints on both of his fronts, as uneven loading occurs on the skeletal structures. Back in Clayton 2013. Oscar wears infrared boots which report to flush away toxins, reduce lactic acid buildup, increase flexion and decrease recovery time, claiming to alleviate the strain on tendons and ligaments and structures. However, research by Lindner 2014 disputes this, stating heat within boots and bandages can be detrimental, supported by Hopegood et al. 2014. Dynamic mobilization was included in the program to target the muscle areas reported to hold tension and encourage relaxation. Clayton 2016, Goff 2016. Positive reinforcement association was used to encourage Oscar to hold the stretch, therefore debatable as to whether negative reinforcement plays a role regarding the withholding of the food stimulus until the desired time, then positively reinforcing with the behaviour. A study by Stubbs et al. 2011 suggests that the frequency and duration that dynamic stretches are performed has a direct correlation with muscle hypertrophy and symmetry of multifidi muscles. Using clicker training has enabled both Oscar and I to gain confidence and trust in each other again after our accident in 2015. When investigated, his aggressive destructive behaviours were attributed to hormone imbalances, resulting in dominant behaviours and hypersensitivity, alongside a lack of confidence. Clicker game of head lowering focuses him mentally and physiologically it relaxes him with the release of serotonin, Reed et al. 2017, therefore giving Oscar a useful tool for him to use independently at times of anxiety and stress. I believe all these elements are key in providing a successful training regime. They need to be tailored for the individual. For example, Oscar's nutrition needed to be addressed immediately as he was considered to have ulcers and a hormonal issue which at times caused him to be hypersensitive. Oscar's training program was designed to incorporate his needs both physically and psychologically. I believe nutrition is integral to success. Dentistry and farriery were all considered. As my ethos for training is to remain holistic and as natural as possible, Oscar was then given a blend of herbs, seen here, for arranging digestive and hormonal issues identified. We needed to address these before ridden work commenced. Jennings and Jennings, 2000. A Fairfax Andrew Hoy event saddle was used as it has a forward seat so as to perfectly align the rider over the horse's centre of balance, enabling both horse and rider to perform at their best. Grieve and Dyson, 2013. Mojo bands worn on the left and right side of the bridle. Their claim is to balance natural negative ions, enabling improved concentration and balance, producing a calmer, more trainable horse. An example of a training regime employed by myself for Oscar over a 2-week period in the last 3 years. Oscar's first ridden session, acceptance and relaxation. which incorporates positive punishment, negative reinforcement, and positive reinforcement, seen here. The demi-array seen here being used is a combination of positive punishment, negative reinforcement, and positive reinforcement at the end. Oscar started to nod and headshake when ridden, so I changed his bridle. Through repetitions in ridden and differing therapy modalities, Oscar's forward but downward transitions into walk now have greatly improved, seen to be weighting his hindquarters correctly and achieving the desirable flexibility and swing through his back. Fitzpatrick 2016. Ground poles are used to activate the core, back and stabilise the sublumbar muscles. McGowan and Cottrell 2011 and Davidson 2013. Draw reins allegedly assist with balance whilst engaging the hindquarters. However, Wofford 2018 disagrees, stating they cause pain and discomfort. Oscar still requires lots of inside leg aid to enable him to balance and maintain rhythm around the corners. Positive punishment and negative reinforcement employed by the draw reins cause tension in Oscar, affecting his stride. Draw reins relaxed, Oscar rebalances, regains rhythm and approaches the poles again. His footfall's correct, we decide to leave on a positive note. Oscar ends every ridden session with a 15 to 20 minute hack. This allows his muscles to cool correctly, reducing the risk of localised muscle acidosis. Bromley 2004. He is therefore more likely to be a willing participant in further training. When comparing conformation from beginning to end of the training program, very little has changed. However, postural changes are evident in the targeted muscle areas. He is now able to stand more squarely and definitely has improved. His transitions have therefore improved due to correct muscular hypertrophy. The two types of conditioned learning used in the training program are operant and classical or Pavlovian conditioning. Operant conditioning is where the animal uses its actions to manipulate the environment, whereas classical or Pavlovian conditioning is repeated association of stimuli attached to a behaviour. Clicker training is based on the findings from B.F. Skinner. It uses positive reinforcement predominantly, but as you will see, there is a fine line between negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement within some of the games or lessons. Positive punishment, an addition of an adverse stimuli to indicate the behaviour is undesirable. Negative punishment, something the animal wants is taken away if undesirable behaviour is displayed. Negative reinforcement, uncomfortable or painful stimuli that can be avoided by a change in the animal's behaviour. An example of this is the pressure release used in ridden work. Positive reinforcement. A reinforcer is added to the animal as encouragement to repeat the desirable behaviour, which can be tactile or a food stimuli. Shaping is the backbone of clicker training. We selectively reinforce any small tendency for the animal to perform a desired reaction. Kurland, 2003. Targeting is also used when an animal learns to touch, orient or follow movement, seen at the beginning of the video when using the paddle. Capturing is unique to clicker training. When a desired behaviour is observed, you click to reinforce the behaviour. Random variable schedule. This is used to extend the duration of a head lowering, for example. Finally, the release cue. These are indicators such as the rope over the neck seen here in the video to inform the animal the session has finished.